Hi, my name is Morgan. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. And today's video is going to be only reading romance books for a week. We're in the month of February. I picked a very romantic themed TBR for February. And we're just going to pick some throughout this week and only read from basically this TBR and only read romance for a week. If you saw my TBR jar picks, my February TBR, I'm also going to just use the rest of these little hearts that I printed out for this video. Sometimes, if that makes sense, like for right now, I don't even know what book I want to start with, so I'm going to use these to choose for me. But later, if I feel like picking one, I'll just pick one. Because I want to put myself in a book slump, you know? But I do want to use the rest of these so I don't waste them. So we're just going to use this for the first book, and then we'll see if I want to use it later too. But I have no idea what books. Here's what we have to choose from. We have Yours Truly, The Do-Over, Magnolia Parks, Picking Daisies on Sundays, The Soulmate Equation, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Before We Were Strangers, and then I also have If Only I Had Told Her on my TBR. I just don't have the physical copy yet, so I don't know when that will come in. I pre-ordered it, so probably won't be in this video, but we'll just pick from these that I have on my actual physical TBR, and we'll use the hearts for this first book. And we're just going to go throughout the week and just see how many romance books I can read, and I'll only read from my romance TBR. Alright, first book. I actually do kind of want a specific one, so I don't know if this is going to be a good idea. Ah, this is perfect. Pink on the cover. Okay, so pink on the cover, we can only choose a few. Does this have pink? Yeah, we can choose The Do-Over by the Painter, but I kind of want to save this closer to Valentine's Day because it's literally on Valentine's Day. Does this have pink? Nay. Okay, we have Picking Daisies on Sundays. This one's like all pink. Hopefully that focused. Does this have pink on it? Yeah, we could do the Soulmate Equation. It has a little bit of pink. Okay. And then we also have Before We Were Strangers. A lot of these have pink per the month. Okay, well I actually don't know which one I want to choose. I was thinking initially that I wanted to go with Picking Daisies on Sundays. I just really want to read this book. But now that I have all these other options, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to start small and start with Picking Daisies on Sundays. And just like get this one done, and then we can go throughout the week and pick another one. Because these are two that I've had on my TBR for a long time. I don't know if I want to start with them, you know? So we have our first book of the video. We're going to read Picking Daisies on Sundays, and I'm really excited to start this. I haven't heard too much about it, and I kind of don't want to know anything about it, you know? I kind of just want to go in blind. The pages are so white. We're just going to start. I'm so excited. Starting off with a Taylor Swift lyric. What could be better? Well, that was abrupt. The end of chapter 1, or the prologue. It's the next day, but I am about 60% into Picking Daisies on Sundays, as you can see. And I thought I'd give my thoughts so far before I go and finish it. Honestly, I'm so pleasantly surprised and happy with this book. I am absolutely loving it. It's giving like Better Than the Movies mixed with Love in Other Words a little bit. And I love Better Than the Movies. I wasn't the biggest fan of Love in Other Words, but I think it's because I was kind of in a book slump at the time. I think I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't a 5-star book for me, but regardless, this is giving. I don't know if it's going to be a 5-star yet. It's hard to predict, but I am like pretty much flying through it, and I'm enjoying every time I pick it up. And one really cool thing that I love about this is that each chapter, I'll show you. Each chapter just starts with like a little quote. and they're really good. Like, I've taken pictures of some of my favorite ones. So I'll kind of give you a little bit of what the book is about so far. So we have two main characters that I forget the names of because I have the worst memory. Okay, so we have our two main characters, Daniela, which some people call her Danny, and then the guy in the book calls her Daisy. That's her middle name. And then we have Levi, and they're childhood best friends. They're like neighbors. They grew up together, and she fell in love with him in high school. Something happened, like she told him that she loved him, and then there's a falling out, and they haven't spoken for 4 years. And now we're in the future, 4 years later, and she runs into him at a bar. Actually, she hits her head on his beer at a bar, and they kind of reconnect. And then another girl comes in and like says hi and everything, and like there's obviously tension between him and the new girl that walks in. And then he just randomly says, yeah, Daisy's my girlfriend. Like, this is my girlfriend. So fake dating. So they're fake dating, and they have to go to his sister's wedding and fake date in front of his whole family. She is in art school. She is a designer. She sews her own dresses, which is so cool. And like that kind of reminds me of Better Than the Movies, like the whole dress thing. And also she's obsessed with rom-coms, which Better Than the Movies is similar. And it's just giving like cute vibes. I just really like it. And you just start learning about like their past, like how they're such good friends, and like it's showing up in the future, and then you're just watching them fake date. That's where I'm at so far. I'm super excited to see where it ends. And of course there's like, you know, jealousy and stuff like that. So it's really good, and I'm super excited to finish it, and I'm glad that I read this one first. But yeah, I'm gonna go finish this book, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. I just finished this book a little bit ago, but I just finished this book, and it was really good, but I kind of want to sit with my thoughts. Oh, I brought a toy. But I kind of want to just sit with my thoughts, take the night, mull it over, and then I'll come back in the morning with like my full review. But yeah, I finished it, and I'll come back. My brain's fried. Hey, so I finished. Oh, you can't see. I finished picking daisies on Sundays last night around like 9 p.m. So I didn't really have full-on opinions or thoughts yet, but I'm ready to share my thoughts. So first off, I gave this book 4 stars. I was really in between giving it a 4 and a 4.5, but I settled on a 4. I really, really, really enjoyed this book. It was like a breath of fresh air, and it was exactly what I needed after all these fantasy books I've been reading. And so I definitely think that could have played into like the fact that I really enjoyed this book, but I do think that it should be loved, and like I don't think it was just because I was in the mood for this, but it definitely helped that I was in the mood for this, you know. So I think I gave it like the proper shot instead of reading it when I wasn't in the mood for romance and then maybe giving it like a 3. You know what I mean? So I think I read it at the perfect time, and I really loved it. And like I said earlier, if you love Better Than the Movies, I think you would love this book. It's not like too similar in a way where you're like, oh, I wish I was just reading Better Than the Movies, but it kind of gave you that feeling, but not fully, which is why it's only 4 stars. And Better Than the Movies was a 5-star book for me. But it was just so cute, wholesome, quick, easy to read, and I really liked both of the main characters. I thought the girl was funny and quirky, and I loved that she designs dresses. I just thought that was like a really cool aspect of the book that I've never really read about before. I'm trying to like think of like a way to describe some of the things I didn't like this book without giving it away, but I just didn't like one little thing that happened, which I never like when this happens in books, so makes sense. But I feel like it was still done tastefully, or like in a way that wasn't like too overwhelming with like, oh, I hate this trope, like this ruins like the whole thing. It wasn't really like that for me, but still it's like, you know, it's expected in romance books. Like there's always gonna just be kind of like a third act conflict. So yeah, but I did really like the book. I love the family aspect of this book. Like he has a big family. He has like 2 twin sisters that he loves to take care of. Like he's so sweet, and I loved that, all of it. And she's a big part of his family, and I really like that. And she has some really good best friends in this too. I love the best friends. I love like their friendship, and I just loved reading about it, and I really like this book. I'm so glad I gave it a shot, and I'm so pleasantly surprised by it. And I think you should definitely pick it up if you like romance and if you love Better Than the Movies. This is your next read. Go buy it, support the author, and let me know your thoughts if you do read it. Now it is time to pick our next book, which scares me. So I think I'm gonna pick another one off of here. I'm still kind of like in the mood for romance. Well, I have to be, This video is literally reading romance for a week. Anyways, so good thing I'm in the mood because I have to. So I need to pick one of these. I might use the jar again because I don't think I have a preference. But I'm scared that as soon as I pick one from the jar, it's going to be revealed to me that I actually do have a preference. But it's fine. It's not like I have to do what the jar says, you know? This isn't the point of the video. I'm just doing it for funsies because I can't decide. Okay. People on the cover. So what would that be? Okay, yours truly has people on the cover. That's an option. The Do-Over. But like I said earlier, I kind of want to read this really close to Valentine's Day, so maybe like next, because it's literally set Valentine's Day. Oh, this one doesn't have people on the cover. Neither does the Soulmate Equation. The 7 Husbands has one person, but not people. Oh, this has people. Okay. Decisions. I feel like this might be too close to the book I just read because it's set in New York and I think it's like Friends to Lovers or A Missed Connection, A Second Chance at Love. It's kind of similar to the book I just read. But I just loved it, so like will I love it again? I think I'm gonna wait. I think I need to read like a book in between and then read this because I think it's gonna be way too similar. And it's just like back to back, I think might not be good for me. It might put me in a slump, or I just might not give it the chance that it needs because I'm just going to be comparing it too much to this. But I also kind of just want to read the Soulmate Equation. See, this is why I was like, do I want to do the jar? Because then I'm like, I don't know why this book scares me. Like, I'm avoiding it at all costs. So maybe I should just read it because I know it's good. Everyone says it's so good, and I feel like that's why I'm scared. I'm scared that I might not like it. Like, you know, that's always a pressure when everyone else loves books. But it's like okay to have your own opinion. Let me just read what it's about. Oh, it's Enemies to Lovers. I think I'm gonna read it. Okay. I think I'm gonna read it. The jar chose for me. And I'm going to stick with that. And read it. Okay, so I'm gonna go start yours truly, and I'll come back whenever I have a little bit more thoughts. I'm not gonna start it immediately, so you might see me later today. You might see me tomorrow. I don't know. But it'll be like 2 seconds for you, so. Was that bad? Was that cringy? I don't know. I'm here with some thoughts. I'm on page 105, and so far I really like this. At first I wasn't sure about it. You know, it always takes a minute to get into a book. Usually for me, if I like immediately am into a book, then I know it's gonna be good. But also sometimes books can be slower for me to get into, and then I absolutely love them. This was a little bit slower for me, and it was only like the first like 50 maybe pages, maybe less than that, where I was like reading really slow, and now I'm reading really, really fast, and I really like it. And Jacob in this book, the guy, he's me. He's literally me to my core. I've been reading, and too often I think, oh my god, like that is a little thought from my brain, picked from my brain and put in this book. And I've just never felt more seen. And Jacob has anxiety, he has social anxiety and anxiety in general, and that's something I have and I work through every single day of my life. So it's very relatable to me in that way, and I like reading about it, but at the same time I'm like, oh, that hit a little too close to home. But let me read you literally one quote that is me to my core. I read this and was like, literally me. Oh. I relaxed a little. I had to remember that not everyone overthought everything the way I did. Wouldn't it be amazing to live like that, to not carry that burden around with you, to not feel constantly overwhelmed and overstimulated and second guess every little thing? Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? And the letters, like the whole idea about the letters, that like he sent her a letter because he has anxiety and it's harder to get his like thoughts out in person. It's easier on paper. And now they like pass letters back and forth right now. I didn't even explain what the book's about. Let's do that really quickly. It's basically, they're two doctors, they work in the ER, and he had just transferred to her hospital, and they're both kind of like up against, they're up against for this promotion, and she was supposed to be a shoo-in, and then he transferred, and then the guy that was retiring was like, actually we're going to give the people a little bit more time to get acquainted to Jacob because he just got here and it's not fair if you just automatically win. So they kind of start off on a bad footing. Like, she's like, I can't believe that you're siding with him, giving people more time for this man when I should get the job anyways. So they're kind of like enemies in a way, and they have like this bad first impression. And so then he writes her the letter to apologize, and now they're becoming friends and they're writing letters, and it's super cute. And you learn about his family. They're both like just gone out of like big relationships. She's about to get divorced and he just got out of a serious relationship. So yeah, that's kind of like the premise right now, and I'm really enjoying it. It's cute, it's easy to read. Oh, and another big thing that just happened is he told his family that he has a girlfriend because his ex-girlfriend and his brother are getting married. And so they're all like freaking out, texting him all the time, like worrying about him. He's like, it's fine, I've actually moved on, I already have a girlfriend, like blah blah. He doesn't, but you know, it's a romance book, so he pretends that he has a girlfriend, and then now he's probably, I'm assuming they're gonna have to fake date, which I love a fake date book. Love fake dating trope. I hope that happens, but I don't know yet. But that's what I'm assuming right now. So I finished Yours Truly last night, and I didn't really vlog me reading it because I wasn't expecting to finish it, but I actually read a little bit of this the other day. Let me just give you my thoughts really quick. Let's run this down. So the other day I was reading this, and then I got to a part about halfway through. I can take this out now. I got about halfway through, and something happened that I just hate, like a trope thing. It's not really a trope. Well, no, it is. It's a trope. And I just absolutely dislike when this happens in books, and you can probably guess what it is, but. So I literally put the book down. Here's a clip of me in the car reading while my boyfriend's at the dentist when I got to this part. Yeah. So I put the book down, didn't pick it back up until yesterday, and then I finished it. I was like, okay, I'll give it another chance. My sister's like convincing me. She's like, yeah, I almost DNF'd it too, but like, I'm glad I finished it. So I was like, okay, I'll give it another shot, because I was really enjoying the book, and I'm glad I went back to it because I actually really liked it, and I think I'm going to give it a 4 stars. I think that's where I'm landing, because like I said, I really enjoyed it. If it didn't have that one part, it would definitely be higher rated, but there are just some things that were kind of annoying to me, which happens in a lot of rom-coms and a lot of like romance books, so it's like kind of expected, but at the same time, it just made it fall a little bit short for me. But I did really like this book. I loved Jacob, the guy main character, so much. I related to him so much, and I loved that Abby Jimenez like talked about his anxiety a lot and didn't just like kind of brush it aside. Like, it was a big part of him, like his personality, and I love that Brianna like understood his anxiety and did things to make him feel comfortable and like was aware of it and didn't just like ignore his anxieties and push him to do things. Like, she was very self-aware in the fact that like he had anxiety, and she did things that would like calm him and that she knew would be making him feel better, and I just really liked reading about that. That was really cute, and it's such like a special way to like show your love. Oh, and another big theme about this book is that they keep saying love shows up, like love always shows up if you look for it, and keep showing up for the people you love. And I really did enjoy this book. I think you should definitely read it. Just be aware that there is going to be a part where you like want to throw the book and close it and throw it across the room, which is what I wanted to do. But if you just stick through it, it does get better. And I thought it was really cute. And I'm glad I read it. So, yeah, 4 stars. And today is actually Valentine's Day. So, you probably already know what book we're reading. I didn't even have to, like, go through my options. I'm obviously going to pick The Do-Over because it's literally based on Valentine's Day. It's like a Groundhog Day style where she keeps having to relive a disaster of a Valentine's Day. And I was sold. That's literally all I know. And it's Lynn Painter. I love Lynn Painter. She wrote Better Than the Movies. Absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite books ever. And I'm excited to see if I love this book just as much. I hope so. And it's literally perfect for today. So, let's start The Do-Over. Okay, it's a few hours later now, but I have to say, I'm really, really enjoying this book. I'm on page 202, about that much. It's hard to see with like the hearts on the edges, but I think maybe like 70%. I don't know. I don't know. This might be a 5-star. Like, I'm kind of feeling that feeling where I don't want to put the book down, and like Lynn Painter's writing is just so refreshing and like so easy to read. Time like flies while I'm reading this. I look down and it's like been 50 to 100 pages. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just love the banter and I love everything about this so far. I thought the whole Groundhog Day plot would be maybe a little bit repetitive, but honestly, I don't feel that way at all. Like, it's not like too quick where you're getting like over and over again. It just doesn't feel too repetitive so far at all. And I'm just enjoying it a lot. Like, I'm like sad. Like, I don't want it to end. And that's how you like know. And I'm just obsessed with the guy in this book. He is so funny and sweet in like a shy, quiet way. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it so far and I really want to finish it. But I just thought I'd give you an update. It's just like so, like when she writes about like high school romance and high school love, it's just so cute. And it's just so like, it just warms my heart. Like, there's nothing I don't like about this right now. And that's a good sign. And it might not be for everybody. I love YA. And this stuff is just like so cute. It's really a rom-com, feel-good romance. I'm obsessed. So I'm going to keep reading it and hopefully finish it really soon. And we're ending the video with a 5-star book. I'm honestly so happy that we're getting a 5-star book in this video. I wasn't expecting it, but a little bit into this book I kind of had that 5-star feeling where I was like not wanting to put the book down, obsessed with it, flying through it, and then at the end I'm like actually sad that it's over. And so I have to give it 5 stars. I mean, I loved these characters, I loved the plot, I love everything. I love everything about this book. And it had me giggling, kicking my feet, smiling. Just everything you want in a cute rom-com book. It was just so, like, sweet. I'm just so glad that I read this book. And if you're watching this, go read this book. If you love rom-coms, if you love romance, if you love YA, read this book. Honestly, I think that Lynn Painter wrote this perfectly. Like, it wasn't repetitive at all with the Groundhog Day theme. And it was just so wholesome and funny and also deep in a way that I wasn't expecting. And I think it was just the perfect portrayal of like high school lovers, sweethearts falling in love and having like family trauma and other types of conflicts in their life that they're dealing with at such a young age. I just think it was so amazing and I think you should definitely read it. Okay, so really quickly, I'm just going to do a really quick recap of the books that I read. So the first book, Picking Daisies on Sundays, I gave a 4-star. It was really, really, really close to like a 4.5. It was really good. It just wasn't the 5-star feeling, you know? It just, the feeling that I had while reading this book was not the same as reading this book, and that's kind of how you can like know. This was still really, really good, and I think a lot of people could rate this 5 stars and would absolutely fall in love with it. I loved it. It just wasn't a 5-star for me, but I definitely think you should read it if you love romance, and it's just so cute. Then I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I will say the writing in this book is a little bit more mature than the other books that I've read, so if you like that kind of thing, maybe this one would be the one for you. It's still like, it was a little bit more adult than the other 2 books, but still wasn't like anything crazy, and I really enjoyed it. And I just, again, love Jacob. I've said this throughout the whole video. He has my heart, and I think the message in this book is really good, and it's just like a wholesome, cute story as well, but it has a little bit more depth to it, and there is, you know, a part that made me mad, but I still think you should read it. It was definitely worth it, and I also gave this 4 stars. And then, of course, the one I just talked about, the do-over of my 5-star book. Again, this one is for the vibes. It's not anything literarily amazing. It's just so cute and wholesome, and the feeling that I got while reading it is just unmatched, and that's why I rate it 5 stars. So if you like that kind of feeling, if you like YA romances, read this. But I would say we had a pretty successful week reading romances. I like had 2 4 stars and then a 5-star book, which is pretty good. And I definitely recommend any of these books or all of these books if you haven't read them yet. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching me read these books this week, and I'll see you really soon with another video.